carriers with their own MC DOT. This is Charles with Exodus Logistics, dispatching and training, reaching out to you guys to see for those who are new to the trucking industry, just got your MC authority, and those who already have their MC authority and are owner operators who may need assistance or using someone as an option for them to help them find loads. I'm an independent freight dispatcher. I provide that service for beginning owner operators who just gotten their authority. I realize as a former carrier, the difficulty sometimes of just getting your MC authority. Sometimes brokers or shippers don't want to give you an opportunity because you haven't, your MC authority is rather young. If it's less than 90 days old or less than 6 months old or even less than a year old, sometimes brokers will say, well, we can't let you run that load because we're contracted with shippers and they require drivers to be under their authority for at least, say, a year or two, things like that. Sometimes there are exceptions to that. Whereas a broker will say, okay, you've been running less than what we require, but if you can show us that you've ran 3 loads this month or the previous month successfully, we'll let you run for us, book this load. And what successful means to them typically is a load that was delivered on time, a load that did not have any damaged freights, and also there were no claims filed against you. So if you can provide 3 examples of that, they may let you through. As a dispatcher, independent freight dispatcher, providing a dispatching service for the carriers, a dispatcher's job should be to make sure that the carrier runs smooth. They don't have to worry about their next load, all the paperwork that's involved, be it the carrier packet if you are not signed on with the broker already, making sure that the rate confirmation matches up with the load that was the rate of the load that was posted on the load board or wherever the dispatcher got the load from. Making sure that it's communicated between you, the dispatcher, and the carrier, that there are special instructions on the load. All this information is vital for a carrier to have so they can make an informed decision and determine whether or not they will take that load and book that load with you. So the job of a dispatcher is to help and assist the carrier with that and make the transition very smooth for the carrier so that they can just concentrate and focus on driving under the load that they are delivering that load, and then won't even have to worry about sitting for days trying to find their next load. The purpose of a dispatcher should be to be able to have loads lined up for the carrier however they want those loads, going to and from where they want to go for the rate that they want to have it for, and going to places that they don't want to go. So for example, I typically ask potential carriers who are going to sign a dispatcher agreement with Exodus Logistics Dispatching and Training, how much money you need to move your truck, what is your cents per mile, and by asking that, I'm trying to get an understanding of, after all your expenses are covered, what is the cents per mile that you need in order to still make a decent living. And for example, let's say a person says $2.75 per mile. This may apply to a certain equipment type. My dispatching company focuses on 53-foot dry vans, 48 to 53-foot flatbeds, and 53-foot reefers. But with the $2.75 a mile example, if you were to drive 3,000 miles in a week, which is pretty normal or average, that's about 600 miles a day. At $2.75 a mile, that's about $8,250 a week. So if your expenses from fuel and insurance and maintenance of the truck per week is covered with that $8,250 and you still can make a decent living, that would be something to consider. I've realized during the course of my dispatching this year, the normal range for cents per mile is around $1.85 to $2.50 per mile. So that's roughly between $5,000 and $7,000, or $5,400 to $7,500, or $8,400, or something like that. So if you can, and that's consistent cents per mile. So if a person is willing to run consistently as opposed to trying to find the big money loads like $3, $4, but you're sitting for a couple of days to get that. So would you rather, as a business owner, an owner operator, run consistently between the ranges of $1.85 and $2.50 a mile, or sit for a few days wondering for your next load, trying to get that big $4, $5 a mile. So as a business owner, that is a decision that you probably would need to make. In addition, I would have you guys go to my website at www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. Click on the dispatching page. There you will see a welcome packet telling you about the company, who we are, and what we do, and that's in PowerPoint format. And then the other two forms are in PDF format. The 1 to 2 page dispatcher agreement, which is a non-exclusive agreement, and the 1 page load search profile, which is in PDF format. Fill those out if you decide to use our service. It's non-exclusive. That means if we present a load to you and you do not like it, you do not have to take it. If you do take it, then you're just bound by whatever percentage that is for that particular load at that time. We assist also with making sure that the broker or shipper, whoever we book the load through, of course, is going to get a copy of the MC Authority, your W-9, and your certificate of insurance. We make sure if they require that broker or shipper being a certificate holder, we contact the insurance agent, get all that stuff taken care of, because sometimes carriers, they'll go to truck stops, or they may have equipment on their trucks, but they may not have internet access. Printers may be broke. So it would be easier and a smoother transition if you had someone doing that for you at a faster pace, so you can just focus on driving and you don't have to worry about your next load. We CC all the carriers their rate confirmation so they can have that copy for themselves in their records. And of course you're going to need that, obviously, because when you're going to pick up the load from the receiver, the address is on the rate confirmation. So again, Exodus Dispatching and Training, the dispatching portion of it, we provide a service. Try to be a dispatcher where we make the transition for the carrier smoother. They don't have to worry about finding their next load, sitting at truck stops, or waiting at receivers or shippers to get loaded or unloaded, figuring out where their next load comes from. You provide us in a load search profile how you want to run, how much money you need to move your truck. In other words, what is your cents per mile again? And you're factoring in that cents per mile rate when you put that down. You're factoring in all your expenses that you need. We realize that different carriers have different expenses because there are different equipment types to cover. So, but the main idea of the expenses are the insurance and mainly the fuel. And of course you got maintenance every now and then, tires and things like that. So when you give us your cents per mile, hopefully you would have factored that in already. As a business owner, I would expect that to be the case. And then if you decide to go with us, we provide the service and just try to keep you running for as long as you want, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, things like that. You tell us in your profile how you want to run, when you want to be back home, and we try our best to meet those goals. Again, ExodusDispatchingandTraining.com. Click on the dispatching page. There is a YouTube video you can watch that explains a little bit more about what we do. We are independent freight dispatching service. We are part of a larger network of dispatchers, so we have ability to get to loads wherever within that inter-network space, but we can provide that service. Hopefully you guys are having a good holiday season, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you.